Good evening, everybody. This is Chief Meteorologist Andrew Pinero on this fairly calm but cold evening. So, we have had a beautiful past weekend. We had a beautiful day yesterday and today. And it's going to continue for a little bit going through the week, but it's going to change. So, let's just give a brief overview. It looks like we're not really seeing anything until maybe Friday. And again, it's just a very short chance there. So let me show you some of the weather maps in my new weather office here, and we'll have a little bit of a deeper discussion there. Alright, so in the new weather office here, so we'll take a look at the National Weather Service. Now I know this is specifically New York City, but it's fairly shared the same between all areas, except with just a little bit of a coastal flooding statement and that coastal flood advisory. So there's been a lot of rain lately, and this is what's been giving these higher than normal waves coming in for the coast. And for the flooding a little bit more inland, a lot of rivers are still over their banks. So that's where we're getting a little bit of a flooding risk, but that's really it in terms of watches, warnings, and advisories. Moving over to the radar here. We have a little bit of rain to deal with out west. Well, a little bit more than a little bit. California is getting drenched right now because they have something called an atmospheric river that's just basically training rainstorm after rainstorm coming in. So that's happening out west. We don't really have anything, it looks like, if you go kind of like Kansas, Nebraska line right through there. So Minnesota, Iowa, east, there's really nothing until you get down towards Miami and then up into Wisconsin, going into Ontario there. Now, there is a bigger system out into the Atlantic here, which we don't see on the radar, but we do see on the satellite. So again, lots happening out to the west, then lots happening in the Atlantic. And this is creating a blocking pattern called an omega block. So if we look here, we have in the northern hemisphere with systems, we have counterclockwise rotation. So we have winds flowing down around the bottom, then we're going up north. Then the high pressure, we have clockwise rotation in the northern hemisphere. So we're going down counterclockwise, then north, then it picks up along the high pressure, then we're going clockwise, and then we're going back south, and then we're going to the bottom of the next system for that counterclockwise rotation. In the high pressure center, so you see this big stripe right there of clear air. It cannot penetrate on either side with that high pressure right there. That's what's giving the pretty much entire eastern seaboard their really nice weather from last weekend through, or this past weekend through today and even tomorrow and Thursday. So this blocking pattern is going to be staying there for another couple of days. So that is going to be, again, bad for California because they're going to get even more rain than they have already. So let's go to the good old tropical tidbits here, and let's start taking a look at some of these forecast models. So again, here's the pattern. We have the isobars on the map now. So low pressure, and a high pressure up north. So again, counterclockwise around there. Then we're going clockwise around the high, and then counterclockwise around the low. And that shape is the Greek letter omega. That's why this particular block is called an omega block. So if we advance a little bit here, we're seeing this high pretty much stay in place, giving the northeast very nice weather until about Friday. And here comes another high developing, it looks like, off the Carolinas. So right about there, I would say. Ooh, we don't need the sounding. So this is 18Z, so that would be about 1 p.m. on Friday. We're seeing the isobars start to get a little bit closer. That means the wind is going to be increasing. So later in the day, Thursday going into Friday, we'll see winds starting to increase. And then here, we're seeing these equal lines of thickness. They are not going to be temperature lines. However, they are associated with temperature. That 540 line right there is usually the freezing line. All this is moving north, so our temperatures are going to be warming up going into the end of the week. So that's what we're seeing here. So let's continue a little bit. So there's a very slight shower chance that could go through all of the Northeast there, but really, if you're inland and upstate, you're going to have the highest chance. If you're around New York City or any of the coastline areas, you're really not going to see anything. So that's going through Saturday, and then here's our next storm chance. So 0Z Sunday is 7 p.m. Saturday. So this is going to be coming in overnight Saturday into your day on Sunday. So it's really not going to be a Sunday storm. So now we're at 1 a.m. Sunday, and that's really where the heart of it is. And again, it doesn't look like it's that intensive. Just some periods of rain on and off there. So as this makes its way through, once we get to the day and the evening, so 0Z Monday is 7 p.m. Sunday. That's pretty much cleared out there. And then, whoops, we'll just advance there. There we go. So that makes its way out. And then this next system is going to be something we have to watch. 6Z Tuesday. That's 1 a.m. Tuesday. That is quite a strong low pressure system. And we're having a lot of precipitation there that could be blue rain, or it could be red and yellow, blue snow, red and yellow heavy rain. So this is going to be a question mark system that the forecast models are not entirely in agreement with. So the European, for the most part, through this week, it's going to be pretty fine. We're just going to continue until we see that next system. This one stays a little bit more south. Now, this is something interesting. Again, I was just mentioning that the forecast models are not in alignment. So the Euro had that system scoot to the south, kind of through the Carolinas and Virginia, and then out to sea, versus the GFS here. It has that system kind of coming up north, giving quite a coastal system for the Northeast. So that's those two so far. Let's take a look now at the icon model. So as we advance through here, we're seeing that high stay in place. So far so good. And then, I don't think I have the right one up. Let's see, let me just advance this back one so we get 180 hours out. There we go. So that next system, it's just a little bit too far for the icon, it seems. But you see how it's coming a bit more north? So the icon is following in the camp a little bit of the GFS, not the Euro. Now, the NAM is not going to be going out as far as next week. This is just going to be for the next couple of days, where we're seeing that high that stays strongly in place until the end of the forecast model run there, where we're just seeing a little bit of a shower chance. And again, 21Z, so that's about 4 p.m. Friday. So just a little shower chance for Friday. That's about it. The second half of your day, Friday, going into overnight. And then that is the end of the forecast model. We don't see anything else there for the NAM. So just taking a quick peek at temperatures here. So islip, we're seeing 44, 43, 49. So that's where we're seeing pretty stable, seasonable temperatures because it's fairly calm. We're in the high pressure. And then the temperature spikes up, 49, 53, 52, going through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when we do have that next system starting to come in. Then by Tuesday, this is where we're seeing the temperature drop back off a little bit, which is going to be the question mark for that system. So we're just going to jump through. So I'm going to bring up now White Plains. So White Plains here, 42, 45, 48, 53, 51, 45. So we're seeing that temperature spike going into Friday. It gets pretty high for Saturday and then starts dropping off slowly Sunday, a little bit more on Monday, and a little bit more on Tuesday. So that's where it's still a question mark for Tuesday. Going a little bit more upstate, so Albany here. We're seeing 42, 45, 47, 53, 46, 42. So this is where there could be a little bit colder air in place, but the precipitation doesn't look like it's going to make its way as much upstate as it will be along the coast, because this is going to be really a coastal storm. And then the last one I'll just bring up here, Boston, real quick. So from here, we're seeing 40, 41, 44, 57, 53, 36. So that's, again, we're following that trend where it's pretty steady. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday spikes up a bit. Saturday really spikes up. Sunday down a little bit. Monday down a little bit. Tuesday down a little bit. And again, Tuesday is going to be that question mark day. So then just to do a quick recap here, let me go back to here. We were having a shower chance maybe Friday. Nothing really too much to talk about there. It's going to be fairly calm this week and still cold, but right there, Tuesday, that's going to be the question mark day. So with that, let's wrap up this video. All right. So quite an interesting week we are going to have coming up, where it's going to be fairly calm for the rest of this week. However, going into next week, that's where it starts to get a little bit more unstable. Slight shower chance Friday, maybe a little bit going into the weekend, but the temperatures spike up over the weekend, and then Tuesday is that big question mark. So previous model runs this week have been showing this coastal system pretty consistently, but as of today, the GFS was the one that was pretty steady with that coastal system coming up to the northeast. However, the Euro started to change a little bit and keeps that system going a little bit south of the northeast, going through the Carolinas, Virginia kind of area. So if you want to stay up to date, feel free to hit that subscribe button below and that little bell icon right next to that so you get notified whenever I upload videos like this or I do go live. Now, usually I go live on Tuesdays, so next Tuesday I will be going live. It's just been fairly busy with something new happening at my other job that I can't talk about. But things are going to be getting a little bit more steady now with uploads. And also, so I'm back here in my main studio, which is in a house I've had before, where my wife and I moved out into our own apartment. Now we're moving back into this house with my parents, and maybe I'll get a little bit more regular with the videos. All right, so that is a wrap for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the little new view with the weather. This is Chief Meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.